So ahead of the big game this weekend, do you have any injuries or suspensions that are causing you any problems?
Not other than the ones long term that we know about. Leah is still unavailable, Sarah Ewens, of course, and Laura Rafferty. Other than that, we've got a full squad to choose from, which is really good.
The last game against Motherwell, had a lot of possession, a lot of chances. Is that something you're looking to perhaps rectify? You've got the women's transfer deadlines up on the 9th. Are there any deals that you're perhaps looking at to strengthen the squad?
Yeah, we're definitely working. We're working hard just now behind the scenes to try and bring at least one, possibly two, into the building to give us that strength and depth that we'll obviously require domestically. We understand where we're at and how many games that we'll play this season. But so far in terms of the performances, and you touched on Sunday, I think everything that we're asking the players to do at this stage, they're giving it their absolute best. We come away from that game feeling frustrated that we weren't more clinical in the first half for the amount of opportunities that we had in corners and final third entries, etc. But again, that comes down to the demands that we're putting on them as a coaching staff and the changes in the system and what that looks like. And we're very early on in the season, so I think we'll only continue to get better with that.
You had a 2-each draw with Hearts. Celtic had a 2-1 win over them. It seems to me that Hearts and Hibs in the last, they've responded to what's been happening in terms of getting more staff and better training. But generally in the league, it would appear to me that the kind of standard, some of the teams, they might not be able to train in the paddock every day, but they're certainly in the gym. The kind of general level of fitness and tactics seems to have been raised. In your time in the game, is that quite am I imagining that, or is that a development that's definitely
taking place? No, you're absolutely spot on. I think where we are now in the women's game is absolutely the best place we've ever been. I think the restructure in the league this season is of course going to make it even more competitive by reducing the numbers and increasing the importance on a lot of the fixtures now that you play. I think every club, whether you are this season, of course, it's going to be top 6, bottom 4. The reality is everybody's doing their best in investment, you're right, in terms of staffing, resources, facilities, players, environments. A lot of clubs now are tapping into the loan market, domestic loan. We obviously have some really good relationships with other clubs in the country that we are comfortable with our young up and coming talent going there to develop and get opportunities. And I think having that only strengthens the league. There's already an awful lot of quality. You look at the countries worldwide now that we're able to attract players from, and I don't just include Rangers within that. So there's lots of opportunities to continue to grow and develop. I don't think the visualisation and the broadcasting of the game's ever been better. In the whole time that I've been in it, every game now comes with a microscope on it, and everybody's looking now at the finer details and how we can continue to improve. So we've come a long way. Certainly in the time that I've been in the game, certainly it's accelerated quite drastically over the last 5 years, I would say, and I think over the next 5 years we'll continue to see that growth. But I think it's important that we also live in the moment just now with the quality that we've got and how much development that there's been, and we actually enjoy the competitiveness that we've got.
In terms of your opponents at the weekend, Celtic lost a couple of fairly influential players, but they've also recruited. Seems you're hardly in the door since we started talking to you. With yourself and your staff, have you been able to develop a game plan, considering Celtic have signed quite a few new players? Has that been quite a challenge to you?
No, look, for us, we're very much focused on Rangers and the job that we do. We've got absolute respect for every opponent that we'll come up against this season. We'll analyse them the same, we'll give them the same level of time across the week and how we plan and prepare the players to be ready for Sunday. But the reality is it's very much about Rangers and what we do. Right now it's still very early in terms of my tenure, and you're right, just being a month in the door, and again comes the reality of competitive fixtures and the expectation to win and certainly compete. Sunday is no different. It's another opportunity for us as a team to get out on the pitch and look to try and implement a lot of the things that we've been working on, to grow and develop, and whether it's positives, negatives or bits in between, we'll take that forward come Monday morning and following the game. It's just another opportunity for us to get better.
And in terms of the time that you've had in here to have a look at the squad and get them to fit in with what your vision is, and can they play the way you want them to play, and can you bring in something that I think's been a wee bit lacking with some of the Rangers women's teams, is the ability to switch to a plan B. It's in the past I think they've been a wee bit rigid in their game plan. Have you got that in your head, or is it too early to say that you've got your pattern for the season planned out?
Look, I think for us just now we've absolutely got a plan A. Of course we've got a plan B that was delivered to the players and the staff on day one when I walked in this building, and what the expectations would be for me and how I would look to go about that and try and achieve it. I very much understand that you can only achieve small things week on week, and it's not about drastic change. I think there's been enough change in this building over the summer without then trying to recreate a whole new thing on the pitch. There's certain methods in my madness at points that you're looking to get a different tune out of the players and different demands and expectations, patterns of play, the way that we attack, the way that we defend, the structure. But right now we've had to do that as well, with at times a limited squad throughout pre-season and also the time now. So everybody's very much getting back up to speed. The players that are in the building are here and ready to work, they're ready to embrace that challenge. But you're right, we need to be agile, we need to be ready to respond, and that's absolutely what we'll be.
Alison?
Thank you. Can I just ask you, what's your experience of this fixture? Have you worked at it when you were doing your punditry stuff? Did you cover a couple of them last year?
Yeah, I was across the games last season, or the last couple of seasons.
And is it quite odd then now to go in and have a close-up view and begin with the way to expect this fixture to offer something a bit different?
You do. I think the hype and the hysteria around the game itself is probably the element that makes it a little bit different. I think there's an expectation that then transfers onto the pitch. For me, the preparation this week has not changed. We've not went about our business any differently than we would have done last week against Motherwell, or the week previous against Hearts. It's the early part of the season just now. For me, it's about that consistency across the board and the consistency in the messages that we're delivering, how we plan and prepare and analyse for the opposition, and how we look to try and reflect on our moments from past games and experiences that we can take forward, and ultimately put a team out in the pitch on Sunday that's ready to compete and ready to try and win the game. So I'm looking forward to the fixture. I'm interested to see if it feels any different when you're standing in the dugout, but the reality for me is, my full focus will be on the players on the pitch and looking at the ones behind me that are ready to come on and do a job. So I'm excited for it. I think the players are really up for it. I think it's a good opportunity for us as well at this stage of the season to go again and get another gauge for where we're at and how much information we've taken on physically, where we're at as a team, and it gives us an opportunity to learn and grow as a group.
It's 18 months since Celtic last beat Rangers, now obviously that predates your arrival at the club, but do you have a sense of that within the dressing room, that there's just a real confidence going into these games just because they've prevailed across so many of them?
Yeah, I don't even know if that will be on the radar too much, if I'm honest. I think as players you are more focused on the game in front as opposed to the past however many that have gone previously that they've come out on top. I might use it as part of my team talk now that you've brought it to my attention, but as you can understand, everything just now probably feels pretty new and pretty fresh, and the players are in that mindset as well. We've not tried to set the bar too high in terms of our expectations, and I think it would be unrealistic for me to do that to the players as well, whilst it's still in an infantry stage and we're all getting to know each other and understand where we're at. So what I'm looking for from them on Sunday is a Rangers team that is I've said previously, are ready to compete, that are ready to embrace the challenge, that are going to go and take the game to Celtic and look to try and take as many positives from our own performance as we possibly can. We understand where the league is at and how competitive it's going to be, so in this early stage it gives you a real good chance to understand your opponents and how things might shape up as time goes on.
One last one, Alison, then BBC please.
Do you see these games as being definitive when it comes to the title race?
Say that again, sorry Alison?
Do you see these games and maybe the games against Glasgow City as being definitive when it comes to the title race?
No, I think we've got to give enormous respect to the league just now. We've drawn against Hearts at Ibrox. I think Hibs, in terms of their position from last season, I think Celtic and everything that Elena's trying to do, of course they're growing, we're growing, and every other team under that is doing their absolute best. In any one-off game, I think you get teams that can go toe-to-toe this season. But for us, it doesn't matter who we play against, it's about the consistency levels across the season. And any team that is the most consistent across the season, regardless of who they play against, will be the team that comes out on top at the end of the season. So again, that's very much our focus, that's the way we will look at it. Doesn't matter who it is that we play, it's the same 3 points that are up for grabs.
Thanks, Alison. BBC,
Yes.
please.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, I'm good.
So just wanted to ask, first of all, you were locked in, what are your early thoughts on being head coach and how you're kind of getting used to it?
Yeah, it's been really good. A kind of busy whirlwind period certainly coming in the door. Only 10 days and then straight into the domestic season, so there's not been too much time to really stop and dwell or take stock too much. I'm hoping maybe at the international break there might be a chance to draw breath, but that's not anytime soon. So no, the challenge of the job is everything that I thought it would be. The people within the building have been outstanding in terms of their reception and welcoming me in and going above and beyond, to give me everything, and I really mean that in terms of the playing group. So there's been a lot of change. It's not been the most straightforward summer for everybody here, but no, we're in a really good place at this stage.
And you touched on there, like, with your punditry before, you've obviously spent a long time being in pundit. Have you kind of used, like, your views on the players' formations and tactics previously to kind of bring that in for you now doing it for yourself?
I probably don't lean too much on the punditry side of things. That's one part of life that gave me an opportunity to speak about football and offer opinions. I think what I've tapped into most is my career in the game, my time as a player, the coaching pathway that I've come through within Scotland, the different experiences and managers that I've worked under, coaches, both head coaches, assistant coaches, the environments, everything they're trying to create, trying to take the good stuff, eliminate the bad stuff, the things that you would do differently, and that's been very much what I've looked to try and do in terms of that consistency. Before I came in the door here, I had a really clear idea and methodology and how I want the game to be played and what I think it should look like and how all those behaviours around that should align. It's going to take a bit of time before that absolutely clicks and becomes the perfect thing, and I'm not sure in football that you get there. But no, there's been lots of experiences in life up until this point that have put me in a pretty good position to walk in the door and lead this group.
And I know it's still early in the season, we've touched on that, but how important would it be to lie down that early marker so early in the season if you could get a win you would lead from Celtic? So is it a game essentially you don't want to lose?
No, look, it's a game that we'll embrace. We're really looking forward to the challenge. I'm excited to see what the Old Firm fixture looks like. I'm interested to see how the two teams match up against one another. It will give me a much better understanding of where the group here are at and the things that we need to work on, the things that we need to improve. Also, the transfer window still open. We're looking to try and strengthen the squad, so if nothing else, it will certainly reinforce the things that I already think about the group and where we can improve, and the things that we're doing really well so far, because the performances that they've given in different moments, they've had to respond in certain situations and scenarios, and I've been really proud. And pleased to see all that happen so quickly in the season. So Sunday's just another opportunity for me to get a better look at the group, and I think psychologically for them, you're right, I think an Old Firm game certainly makes it, for maybe 24 hours after it, you come away with bragging rights perhaps, but for us, whether we win the game or we don't, it will give us a better understanding of where we're at in the season ahead.
One more and then Gabs, please.
That's okay, perfect, thank you so much.
Thank you. Gabs, we
Thanks,
have
Dominic.
two quick ones, please, Gabs.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Just on that, I know you tried to downplay obviously the importance of this one fixture. Everything's 3 points, but I'm sure when you took this job, these are the kind of games you took the job for, yeah?
Absolutely. Look, I've already said I'm really looking forward to the fixture. The hysteria around the fixture, as we know, growing up in the East End of Glasgow, for me personally, I absolutely get it. But my job when I'm here now and when I'm at the heart of it is to be level, is to be composed, and is to be focused on the job, and that's all I can do. It's all I can ask the players and the staff to do, is to treat it with the respect that the fixture deserves, absolutely, because it's a huge fixture against one of our biggest rivals. but the reality is it's 3 points on Sunday, and that is the focus. It would be the same regardless of who we play against. And the consistency factor for me just now is much more important than the fixtures and the opposition that we come up against. It's more about Rangers, it's about this team and how we can improve week on week. And as I've already mentioned, the signs so far for me have been really good. I think we've still got a long way to go to be in that finished article, and Sunday will be a really good gauge to understand where we're at.
And just finally, for you on a personal level, how do you think it's going to feel walking out as a Rangers manager in an Old Firm game? Is it something that you didn't even dream of when you were younger, or has it been your drive for a number of years now, as a player and going into your management?
Yeah, look, it's a fixture that I've been in the periphery for a long, long time. Come up against both sides, obviously, as an opposition player, and now to be in here and you know, to understand it a little bit better, I totally get it, and I'm really proud to have said that when I came in the door. But again, it's not about me, it's not about my emotions come Sunday. I'm striving to be as consistent as this club needs me to be, and that's all I can do. Again, I'll respect it immensely. You know, it's great. I'm really looking forward to it. I can't echo that enough, as the players are. We all are in the building. There's no better week to prepare for. So we'll see what it brings. We'll see what it brings. Maybe we'll have a different opinion on it next week.
Well, thank you. Best of luck on Sunday.
Cheers, Gabs. Thank
Thanks
you.
very much, guys. Guys, bring